welcome back to Rybrook TV and to this, the new for 2022 BMW X3. Now in this video, we're going to take a look at some of the styling differences and technology updates that have happened to the BMW X3 since the last generation one, as well as taking a closer look at that plug-in hybrid powertrain. Because this particular model here is the xDrive30e, which means it's a plug-in hybrid, and it's a great opportunity for people who are skeptical about our electric future to dip their toe in how electric cars may work and fit into their lifestyle before making the plunge and going all electric. So let's start this video by taking a look around the outside of the car and some of those styling changes and updates. So let's jump straight in and start down the front of the car and look at some of the visual changes to the new X3. First of all, we've got this new kidney grille. Now, it's not as big as you might have expected from a new BMW, as we've come to know over the years. BMW 7 Series, for example, and the X7, the kidney grilles are absolutely gigantic. Whereas in this case, they've kept things nice and subtle still. We've also got this new front bumper. Now that does keep that M Sport styling that we've known to love over the years from all of the BMWs. That kind of large opening at the bottom there for the radiators and these separate vents at the side for things like aerodynamics and intercooler cooling. So it still looks like a BMW M Sport, but it's just more modern. And finally, we've got these new headlights. They still keep that iconic BMW semi-halo design from generations gone by, but they've just been updated and they're all LED now. Now when we take a look at the side profile of the car, not a lot has changed here. There's some new wheel options to pick from, such as these ones here. These are grey and diamond cut dual tone alloy wheels, which look absolutely terrific, may I add as well. They really do complement the look of the car in my opinion. We've also got, because this is a plug-in hybrid, the plug flap on the side there at the front to charge your batteries. But other than that, it's the same as previous generations. Nice crisp clean lines, the Hofmeister kink here. Yeah, all typical BMW along the side. It's at the rear of the car though that we see some of the biggest changes. So let me just spin this round so we can get a better look at it, and we'll talk about what's gone on at the back end of the car. And there we go, as if by magic, we're now looking at the back end of the all-new BMW X3. And this is where I personally think the updates have made the biggest difference. We've got this all-new rear bumper with these vents up here on the sides, these proper big exhaust tips, and the real exhaust tips as well. None of that plastic trim stuff you might find on some of the competition. These are genuine, real exhausts. It's good to see BMW are still keeping that trend. We've also got this diffuser, which is all part of the M Sport kit, and it looks really, really smart. And the biggest notable difference is these new tail lights. How brilliant do they look? So much time, energy and effort has gone into the design work in these lights. I think the whole back of this car just looks fresh and modern. Now, it's not just the exterior of the car that's looking fresh and modern. There's been some updates on the inside as well. So follow me through and let's take a look at what's going on in here. Now, when you get inside the new X3, if you're an owner of the last generation versus the new one, you'll notice straight away that the digital driver's display has changed. In the previous generation, it was sort of a combination, a mashup, should we say, between analog and digital. There were still those old analog style displays with the silver rings, but now that's all gone. We've got that full digital driver's display, which is a much better system. You'll also notice the new infotainment screen. It's much bigger, much clearer, but it does still use the original iDrive7 operating system. It's just got a nice change to the infotainment screen itself. It's much bigger, much clearer. It's both touchscreen, and you can also use the click wheel down here, which we've become very familiar with on the iDrive systems. It's also got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, both wireless, which many of the competition don't quite have just yet. You still have to plug your phone in via a cable for some of those ones, or you might only find you have Apple rather than Android, whereas BMWs, you know, keeping modern, are offering both, and they're both wireless, which I think is fantastic. Now, with BMW being a premium brand and the X3 being one of its best sellers, they really don't hold back on standard specification. This particular car, for example, has DAB radio, as well as that Android Auto and Apple CarPlay that I've mentioned. We have automatic headlights, which happen to be LEDs. We've also got electric windows and electric mirrors. We also get a whole raft of safety features, from collision avoidance systems, lane keep assist, and even blind spot assistance as standard. There's heated seats, dual climate control, and even controls for the climate system in the rear of the car. We get BMW Assistant, and even, on this particular model, a heated steering wheel. Now, with all those visual changes and technology updates covered, I think this is probably the perfect opportunity to delve deeper into that 30e plug-in hybrid powertrain that I mentioned earlier on. The BMW X3 30e uses a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine with an electric motor attached. is powered by a 12 kilowatt battery. Combined, the car produces 288 brake horsepower and a staggering 440 Newton meters of torque. In this particular model, being the xDrive, all that power is sent to all four wheels through an 8-speed auto box, and it's capable of a 0 to 62 time of just 6.1 seconds. It's also limited to a top speed of 130 miles an hour, although it is capable of doing 84 miles an hour on pure electric driving alone. Now, talking of that pure electric driving, the car is able to cover 31 miles on only electric power, and it has a staggering combined WLTP cycle of 148 miles per gallon. According to research by Podpoint, a full charge will cost you less than £1.99, and it's working out at just around 6.5 pence per mile. Now, whilst those are all some absolutely fantastic figures, you've probably still got some more questions about, well, where's the compromise sit with this car? What do I lose by going for the plug-in hybrid? Well, to be honest with you, you don't lose a great deal. The interior cabin space remains absolutely unchanged, despite having all those extra batteries and stuff in the car. In here, the driving position is nice and clear, very, very comfortable. It's a really kind of spacious, airy cabin, and things don't really change in the rear either. Let's just jump in there and take a look. So in the rear, as I said, absolutely no compromise back here either. Loads and loads of knee room. This seat is in my driving position. I'm 6'3" and I am plenty comfortable enough back here. And there's ample headroom as well. This doesn't feel like a compact SUV. This feels like a much bigger area car to sit in. You'll also see that we've got climate control systems down here for the passengers. We've got USB-C charging points for fast charging of your electrical items. We've also got this handy pull-down armrest for the rear seat passengers should you have no one in the middle, with these handy little cup holders. Yeah, it's a really nice, comfortable, spacious place to be. And I've also just discovered that you can actually recline these rear seats. So you can get yourself in a really nice, comfortable position as a rear seat passenger. Not quite the same levels as things like, you know, the X7 and the 7 Series. But yeah, very comfortable nonetheless. Now, the place where you might find things have changed for the plug-in hybrid is in the boot. Now, in the boot is where you're going to notice the biggest differences with the plug-in hybrid. You see, this is where all of the batteries are kept. Now, with it being a modern BMW, we do have this handy electric tailgate for opening and closing it, which I really like. We've also got this sliding partial shelf, which will keep any expensive items hidden and out of sight when the car is locked. But like I say, you do lose a little bit of storage space in here. Going for the plug-in hybrid, you will be losing 100 litres of storage, and that is all from underneath the boot floor, so you do lose that underfloor storage. But saying that, it's still 450 litres, and it's still a very, very good shaped boot. There's some nice handy little tricks and things up its sleeve in here as well. We've got a charging port in the boot, putting things like mini fridges and stuff in there. We've also got a couple of little hooks to hang shopping bags from, as well as some handy tie-down hooks should you have any expensive heavy items in there that you don't want sliding around. The rear seats do also drop down, which increases the car's load space to 1,500 litres. And the rear seats are a 40-20-40 split, which, you know, means that you can have yourself this massive luxury van should you want to drop those seats and shove a load of stuff in the back of the car. So it by no means becomes impractical by having those batteries. You do just lose a little bit of space over its, you know, ICE counterparts. Now, let's take a minute to talk charging. So as I've mentioned, this particular car is a plug-in hybrid, and it offers you 31 miles of electric range. But that does also mean it's not going to take a very long time to charge it, because it isn't relying on masses of batteries to charge itself up and get you around, because it does have that 2-litre petrol engine at the front. So let's say you plug this thing in at home. You use a normal standard 3-pin plug, as if you were plugging your phone in and charging it overnight. If you use one of those, charge it up on your driveway, it's going to take 6 hours to charge from flat, which, you know, if you're plugging it overnight, shouldn't be that much of a problem, because hopefully you're still getting your full 8 hours of sleep. So you can get this done in less time than it takes you to have your full night's kip. If you find yourself able to use a charger at work, something like a Podpoint or something like that, it can reduce the charge points to somewhere around 3 hours, which, you know, is very, very quick, and you'll be able to get that fully charged up whilst you're at work. Thank you very much for joining us today here at Ride.TV and taking a look around this wonderful BMW X3. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below if you want to find out any more about the BMW X3, or indeed want to inquire on the car, use the links in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell icon so you don't miss any more videos in the future. Cheers, guys.